Hello everybody, welcome back to the Footballing View. This is your news report for today. General talking points, controversial topics, everything that's happening in world football. Let's get into it. I wanted to talk about Argentina versus Egypt. Now look, I think the refs were favoring Argentina. You can clearly see that by the decisions made, the bookings given to the Egyptian players, and certain tackles by Argentinians that just weren't being given as fouls. However, to say it was a robbery, I think is a bit much. It was definitely favoritism by the officials. However, Egypt was 2-0 up with 16 minutes to go, and they bottled it. That's something you can't hide behind. If you're an Egyptian fan, if you're an Egyptian player, if you don't like Argentina, that's something that we can't hide behind, is that Egypt were 2-0 up with 16 minutes to go. And I have this quote here that I want to read by Zico, an Egyptian player. "The referee is unfair. God is sufficient for me and the best disposer of affairs. He's wasting the effort of an entire nation. The cup is being given to Argentina. They will win the World Cup." But mate, if you lot didn't go and bottle your 2-0 lead, it wouldn't have ever happened. This outrage wouldn't have happened. And I just think that at the same time also, you can't hide behind the fact that none of Argentina's goals, out of the 3 goals they scored, all of them were actual genuine goals. No dodgy penalty, no slight offside, no handball, no foul in the build-up. All were legitimate goals. And that's something that no one can hide behind. That all the goals Argentina scored to win that game were actually goals that should count regardless of where you're from. And look, you're in the spur of the moment, you're frustrated, you can definitely see that the refs are favoring Argentina, and you just say stuff. I even saw something from the Egyptian manager, I don't know the quote word for word though, but I totally understand the outrage from it. I understand the frustration of the Egyptian players, and I think when it's your country it's very different. But I still will stand on the fact that Egypt were 2-0 up with 16 minutes to go, and they bottled it, and Argentina scored 3 legitimate goals. And look, right, Argentina were never going to go 3-0 down against Egypt, let's be honest. So even if you want to say, well, one of Egypt's goals were ruled out and they should have scored, they did go 2-0 up in the end of the day. They did go 2-0 up. So you can't really say, that doesn't really matter much now. But yeah, that's my opinion on it. Let me know what you think in the comments. I don't think that it was as disgraceful as like 2009 Barcelona versus Chelsea. Or was it 2011? One of those 2 years. But yeah. On some transfer news, Melia to Arsenal. I think he's a good keeper, probably just a Kepa replacement. He's always been around there. I actually wanted him at United, but obviously we signed Lemens. But yeah. Also Ancelotti has decided to stay at the Brazil job. Look, Brazil's fall from grace has been bad. It's been a massive decline for them. And I think someone like Ancelotti, someone who's an experienced manager, someone who's not Roberto Martinez, he's going to let the players express themselves and play attacking football. I think someone like Ancelotti is the good manager for that job. And I think, he's Italian, but again, I think it's just very old school to think that a manager should be where their country is from. I don't think the manager's nationality should match the squad's nationality. I think it's very like an old school way of thinking. But yeah, João Cancelo has decided to stay at Barcelona as well. Callum Wilson to Brentford is also now an official signing. And Alvaro Arbeloa to Fulham is now official. I mean, Marco Silva is a good coach, so I'm surprised he actually left the Fulham job. Yeah, he didn't get sacked. He just left the Fulham job. Fulham did give him a new contract, well, offer him a new contract, but he actually didn't accept it. He just left the job. So Arbeloa is now the new Fulham head coach. I also find that interesting about Fabrizio Romano's post, because this is where I got this information from. He said Arbeloa is Fulham's new head coach instead of manager. And you just think to yourself, that's what managers essentially are now. They're just head coaches. The sporting director, the board, all of them decides what happens outside of, game management, the transfers, the off-pitch activities. They essentially decide that. And yeah, it's more head coach nowadays, isn't it? But it is quite interesting to see that as well. I mean, it is quite interesting to see like how that's developed, because I mean, you think of a manager, you think of, Jose Mourinho and Wenger and Sir Alex Ferguson and Pep. But like nowadays, managers are being called head coaches because that's the way it is nowadays. The board has just so much more control nowadays. They're a lot more involved in transfers and stuff like that. But yeah, a bit of a shorter news show. There's definitely a bit more talking points. But let me know what you think about it in the comments. Focus more on the Argentina versus Egypt, because I really want to know what people are saying about it. So if you do make a comment, try to spread your opinion about Argentina versus Egypt. Obviously you don't have to, but like, subscribe, and have a good day.